$10,000, sitting in a savings account, earning roughly 4%, generating about $33 a month in interest. That is where most people stop. That is where this video begins, because that same $10,000, deployed through the right 3-fund stack and grown with consistent contributions, becomes $1,200 a month in dividend income over a specific measurable timeline. Not overnight, not through speculation, through a mechanical, repeatable system that works, because it is built on how dividend compounding actually functions. If you have $10,000 saved, or you are on your way there, this is the playbook that turns it into monthly income. Let me walk you through every step. The math, what $1,200 a month actually requires. Let me be honest about what the destination number means. $1,200 a month in dividend income is $14,400 a year, at a 4% average yield across a dividend portfolio that requires a portfolio value of $360,000, at a 5% blended yield, which is achievable, with the stack I am about to show you. The required portfolio value drops to $288,000. $10,000 alone does not become $360,000 through compounding alone in any reasonable timeline. But $10,000 as a seed, combined with a monthly contribution and reinvested dividends, reaches the $1,200 a month income threshold in roughly 12 to 14 years. With larger monthly contributions, faster. With smaller contributions, slower. This is the playbook. Let me show you the 3-fund stack that makes it work. Fund 1, the Dividend Growth Core. 60% of the $10,000, $6,000, goes into a dividend growth ETF. Same 3 criteria we use in every wealth playbook. Yield between 3 and 4.5%. 10-year dividend growth rate, over 7%, annually. Expense ratio under 1/4%. The Dividend Growth Core is the foundation, because it does 2 things simultaneously. 1, it pays current dividends that reinvest and compound. 2, the underlying dividend payments grow faster than inflation over time, meaning your income stream increases every year even if you stop contributing. A dividend growth ETF that yields 3.8% today, with 7% annual dividend growth, will yield an effective 7.4% on your original cost basis 10 years from now. That is the engine. Fund 2. The high-yield income layer. 25% of the $10,000, $2,500, goes into a higher-yield income ETF. We are looking for yields in the 8 to 10% range. These typically use option strategies like covered calls to generate higher monthly income, at the cost of some upside participation in rising markets. Several ETFs operate in this category. JP Morgan's Equity Premium Income ETF is the most well-known, with a sister fund focused on the NASDAQ. There are others, each has slightly different mechanics. $2,500 at 9% yield produces $225 a year, about $19 a month. In the early years of the playbook, this layer contributes most of the current income. As the Dividend Growth Core compounds over time, the high-yield layer becomes a smaller portion of the total, but continues generating monthly cash that can be reinvested into the Dividend Growth Core. Fund 3. The International and Real Estate Diversifier. The final 15%, $1,500, goes into an international dividend ETF or a diversified real estate investment trust ETF. The purpose is diversification. American equity markets do not always lead global returns. International dividend yields are often higher than U.S. dividend yields. Real estate investment trusts add a non-correlated income stream that tends to hold up well in inflationary environments. $1,500 at a blended 4 to 5% yield adds roughly $60 to $75 in annual income. The real value of this layer is reducing portfolio volatility over long time horizons. The contribution engine. Here is where the path actually works. Monthly contribution of $500, split across the same 3-fund stack, $300 to the Dividend Growth Core, $125 to the high-yield layer, $75 to the diversifier. $600 a month in contributions combined with the $10,000 seed compounds along a very specific trajectory. Year 3, your portfolio is worth approximately $34,000. Annual dividend income, roughly $1,500. Year 7, portfolio worth roughly $84,000. Annual dividend income, roughly $4,000. Year 10, portfolio crosses $140,000. Annual dividend income, $7,000. Year 12. Portfolio worth approximately $190,000. Annual dividend income, $9,700. $800 a month. Year 14. Portfolio worth approximately $246,000. Annual dividend income, $13,000. Over $1,100 a month. Year 15. Roughly $285,000. Annual dividend income, $14,500. $1,200 a month. For life. This is the 14-year path. The reinvestment rule. For the first 10 years, all dividends automatically reinvest into the fund that generated them. This is the compounding accelerator. Most brokerages allow automatic dividend reinvestment, DRIP, at the position level with one click. Turn it on for all 3 funds. Leave it on. Do not override it. Do not spend the dividends. Do not take them as income. Starting in year 11, you have a choice. You can continue reinvesting and push the portfolio toward higher monthly income. Or, you can begin taking dividends as cash. The math says reinvest through year 12 minimum. After that, your call. The 2 things that can break the plan. 1. Stopping contributions during market drawdowns. The single biggest predictor of success with dividend growth investing is contribution consistency during the years when the market is falling. The times when most investors panic and stop buying are exactly the times when the dollar-cost averaging math works most in your favor. If you can only stomach making contributions when markets are rising, your projected timeline extends by 3 to 5 years. 2. Selling positions for short-term needs. The plan assumes the core position is never touched for 14 years. If you need to raise cash, raise it from the high-yield income layer, or from other savings, or from income. Do not sell the dividend growth core. It is the foundation. The weekend action plan. Today, confirm your $10,000 is in a brokerage account ready to deploy. Tomorrow, research the 3 fund categories and pick 1 fund per category. Monday, execute the 3 purchases in the 60-25-15 allocation. Tuesday, enable automatic dividend reinvestment on all 3 positions. Wednesday, set up the automatic $500 monthly contribution starting next month. By next Sunday, your $10,000 is no longer a savings account. It is the first year of a 14-year income machine. $1,200 a month, $10,000 seed, $500 a month contribution, 14 years. That is the playbook, your move. If this helped, subscribe for the next investment breakdown. Tools we use for portfolio modeling link below. See you on the next one.